I have been around for a long time. I wanted to thank you for providing the quote for the skate park collective for their press release. They were very pleased with that. And I think it's great because you were part of the original discussion to send it back to the Palo Alto Recreation Commission. So thank you for that. So I just wanted to mention that. I'm interested to talk to you in the next 15 minutes about your campaign that you made for City Council. And at this late date, if you have any advice for me, that's first. And then the second question really is I'd love to hear your perspective about purchasing. One of my issues that I care a lot about is the length of time it takes for the city to do anything and to get projects done. And so I wondered if you had any insight on both how long it takes to go through purchasing and also getting a number of different bids and also getting projects complete. So I guess there's a couple of questions there, but I appreciate your thoughts.
Okay. What question do you have about running for city council?
Just if I could learn anything from you about things that you did that were successful or that were not successful. Clearly, we're successful because you're sitting in that seat now.
I think it's really hard to know because it's hard to A/B test. I ran twice for city council, so it's hard to know like what truly worked or didn't work. But
Hmm.
one thing I can tell you is that I don't think yard signs work. So don't
You don't
invest
think
too much
so?
in that yard
Yeah.
sign. In this city, I think a lot of people invest in yard signs, but I've actually did an A/B test on it, and I can tell you I don't think it works at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see some of yours though for the next office you're running for. So did you just change your mind or they're just around?
Oh, really? Where?
One on close to Ramus Park. And I think after I turn on coming down Lewis, turn on East Meadow.
Oh my God. Okay. It's been a while since I ran, so I maybe you could take a
Yeah,
photograph of it and send it to me and tell me where it is.
I will. I
Okay.
will. I will do that. Yeah. Okay, so no lawn signs. Well, that horse is left by because I do have lawn signs. What else?
I think
What
that's about
else?
it. That's only I can tell you conclusively.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Personalize the emails. That's probably another thing.
I'm sorry.
Personalize emails. Personalizing messages works too.
Yes. Okay. So then tell me about and when I hear you at the council meeting, you often ask the question about getting a number of bids before things go out to get awarded.
Hmm.
Just was interested in your thoughts about that and also what you think of the timeline it takes in Palo Alto to get things done.
Oh, okay. So I'm curious to know, I'm actually really curious to know what are your thoughts about it?
My thoughts from the park and recreation perspective is
No,
that
just as a person that lives here.
oh, okay. Is that it takes a long time to get stuff done, either to get a permit to do something on your house or to, for instance, to pull solar in or projects a project that was, well, the skate park is a great example. Those kids, when they came to us at the city council meeting, were in their sophomore year at Pali, and the leader of the band, Sam, is now in his sophomore year at the University of Colorado at Boulder. And it feels like to me that if we're really interested in getting young people involved in community service, that we should be able to go faster and to do
I
better.
totally agree with you on that. And you probably heard me railing about that. So you don't have any disagreement on that, but I think that is not a forte of the city for sure.
Well, I just think that it could have been better, and it may have been that coming out of COVID, we didn't have staff to take care of the whatever needed to be done, and so the skate park didn't get addressed, and then there had to be a traffic study, which I didn't ever understand, could not ever understand the reason for hiring a consultant to do a traffic study because for the most part, people are coming on their skateboards. So I don't know how you compare that with other traffic that goes to Greer Park, but it took a year and a half to get the traffic study done because it took a while to find a consultant. It took a while to get the bid. It took a while. It just took a while. So, and all of a sudden the kids have grown up. So,
How
and
do you think how do you think you would change it if you were on city council?
I think I would have asked for a timeline, an agreement at the beginning for a time that something could be finished, and then made sure that it was either finished or that something started over again. I mean, maybe using the concept of a shot clock, like we have in basketball.
Now, have you watched city council meetings?
I have.
Okay. I mean, have you watched like
I
uh
haven't watched every one. I watch them occasionally when there's a topic that I'm interested in.
okay, so we're trying to do the streetscape for like University Avenue and Cal Ave.
Hmm.
right? And I don't know if you watched, but like I and others have been trying to get the city manager to kind of pull that in, right? He says it's going to take 10 years to get a plan together. Um,
Why did why is it necessary to have it be that many years?
I asked the same question, right? I don't know if you heard his response.
I do not know whether I did or not.
Okay, well, he's saying that's just how much time it takes. So it's like from COVID to when we're gonna actually finally have a plan, it's gonna be roughly 10 years, a decade. So I think it's inexcusable. I don't think that's right. And I railed on this many, many times, but you know, unfortunately, it's like it's not just this, it's like everything is crazy slow.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure how you fix it, except for I think that it feels like more people are focused on the fact that it takes too long for stuff to get done in Palo
No, I don't
Alto.
think that many people are focused on it. I
Oh,
think that's part of
okay.
the problem. I think there's a few of us who are focused on it, but I think most people are focused on other stuff. I think that's the problem. So I think he counts there aren't four votes, so he doesn't feel like he has to prioritize it because there aren't necessarily four votes. There aren't necessarily four people who think this. At least not right now.
Well, I don't know. I've been out there talking to a lot of people, and when they asked me why I decided to run, for the most part, it's because I got frustrated with the stuff that we didn't get done at the
No, I'm
recreation.
talking about the current council. If you count the current council and the people who rail on the city
Yeah.
manager about this issue, there's not four people. There's maybe two of us or three of us, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, well, that's fair. So, have you enjoyed your time on council, Greg?
Yeah, it's good. This is I think it's public service, right?
Mhm.
This is so I mean you certainly don't do it for the pay. Although by the time if you get on, you get paid more, but you don't do it for the pay.
No, not at all. No, I was not expecting to do it for the pay, for sure. So, what would you advise a new council member?
Well, maybe before you do that, you mentioned purchasing. So why do you ask about purchasing?
Because very often, and it's either in purchasing or it's in human resources, we've had we've had several management positions in community services that have gone unfilled for a while. And it's really hurt, I think, the staff's ability to affect programs. And so, for instance, when I'm sure you know Darren Anderson, who really had a lot of history of the department and all of that. He retired in November of last year, and the recruitment didn't start until the following April. So in the corporate world that I'm used to, if somebody was going to leave and retire and one knew that, one would have started having somebody even shadow the person who was going to leave for 4 months to learn about the job and then be ready to have somebody step in pretty quickly. But in Darren's case, it took a very long time before that position was filled, and it affected a lot of different programs. So I don't know whether that starts in purchasing or it starts in human resources or whether
I
the
think that's
two.
HR.
Okay. So I guess why I was talking about purchasing is that when I heard you at the council meetings, I've heard you say, are we getting three bids or not?
Mhm.
And sometimes yes, and sometimes no. So I just wondered if you had something to say about that.
Well, if you heard me, I think you know why. I mean, this is the people's money, right?
Sure.
And I mean, when you bought your house, did you buy the first house you saw?
Actually, my story is that I rented the house for a long time,
Okay.
and my husband became very, very ill. I didn't want to ask him to have him move out of our house, and so I had the opportunity to
Oh, I guess you
buy
did.
the. Pardon me?
Okay, I guess you did. Well, maybe I'm exceptional, but for me, when I make a major purchase, I usually shop around. I usually get
Yeah,
multiple bids. If I buy a car, I definitely shop around. When I bought a house, I shopped around. But it may be that I'm the only one that does it. It could be that, right? I don't know. Do you shop around or not really?
I do.
You
I do
do?
shop around. Yeah, and
For what?
I shop around for groceries often.
Groceries? Okay. So like
Yeah,
if the milk's more expensive somewhere else, you shop somewhere else?
well, I shop around for stuff. I tend not to buy as much as I used to when I had kids growing up in the house and everything, but so
Mm.
now I'm alone. I don't do as much as I used to do, but if I'm doing a major purchase, if my washing machine breaks down, then I shop around
Mm.
to see what's available,
And why do you shop around?
to see about different pricing and different installations and different service opportunities.
And so what do you think about the city not shopping around?
About not shopping around?
Mhm.
Well, I think they should be shopping around. I am worried sometimes about the number of consultants that we hire to do work.
Well, I'm worried about that too. That's another issue. I mean,
Yeah.
which is not good either. But the other issue is, which is different, but it's still an issue, is the city tends not to shop around for anything.
And so do you know why? Is it like
Well,
a
according to them, they said something like 25% of the time, there's only one person to buy something from, which I find crazy impossible because we live in a competitive capitalist society, and no matter what business you're or what service you need, there are tons of people doing the same thing. And
Mhm.
and to tell me that there's for 25% of things that the city buys, there's only one person available to do it, I find it really hard to believe. But that's what they say. And that's what they said that like, whether it's like repaving a road or whatever it is, they say I'm told that 25% of the time there's only one vendor available to do that work. And I just don't believe that.
Well, I could see that there might be one vendor available if it was something like a skate park design that is fairly specialized. Just use that as an example.
Mhm.
But for a road that seems like a lot of people should be able to build a road, that doesn't seem reasonable, right?
I would think so, but I mean, if there's really a case that for 25% of us, like if Palo Alto is really special, I get it. But Palo Alto is one of many cities. There's many cities in the United States. For 25% of the time, for there only to be one vendor available for a service, I just find it hard to believe because I mean, for me, when I run my own company, I have to buy a lot of stuff, and there's always multiple bids for any service. Like, no matter what I mean, no matter how esoteric, there's multiple people providing the same service, and I've never found it with like, especially 25% of the time, there's only one person providing it. I find that implausible.
Clearly. Okay, well, that answers that question. Any other advice you would have for somebody who is running for council?
I know, I think you already asked me that, so I already gave you an answer. I don't know if
No, you did, yeah, you gave me the answers. So anyhow, I do appreciate your time. I see this was meant to be 15 minutes and I want to stick to that. I'm pretty much of a stickler for being on time and using people's time wisely. So just take a minute to thank you for your service to the city
sure.
and wish you the best.
Okay, sounds good.